How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to the network. This is Nathan Lewitt here with Caden Walker, Easton John, and Trevor Lewitt. And to start off, we're starting off with NFL once again. And to say the least, this was a hell of a first week of football kickoff. There was many games we did not expect to go the way they went. What the hell happened to the Packers?
It isn't something I even want to talk about as a Packers fan. It's embarrassing. I'm actually wearing the dunce cap right now, a Packers bucket hat, and I feel ashamed to even wear it in public after that performance. The Saints
Trevor
look
and I
cool.
can feel you because we're both Packers fans as well.
We really underestimated Jameis Winston's talent.
I
don't know if it was
I'm-
Jameis Winston. I mean, he did have 5 touchdowns, which is crazy for
only
a
20
first game.
attempts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even against the Packers defense.
But-
We're not. The Packers defense is not like they're.
It's not amazing, but it's definitely not the worst one out there.
I think it's harder to pass on than it is to run on, in my opinion.
I would agree with that, but
with Jared, that secondary is it's young, but we got some good players.
they also
Jared
didn't even have
Sanders,
their best receiver too.
Michael Thomas
yeah.
is out,
and he still did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a room of nobody wide receivers
Mhm.
outside of Marcus Callaway, who's only not a nobody to me because I was looking for a fantasy sleeper. So it's a nobody to everybody else. I don't get it. I don't understand how a team can come out week 1 after reaching the NFC Championship, performing pretty well in that game, all things considered. It was a close game right towards the end with that really loaded Buccaneers roster, and they were as hot as they have ever been at that point in the season.
They did better than the Chiefs did in the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
David Bakhtiari's out, their left tackle.
Mhm.
I think the best left tackle in the league. There's a debate to be had there with him and Trent Williams.
Zadarius Smith was questionable until the game started.
Yeah,
So,
but when are you ever going to be at full strength? To have a performance like that in week 1, and I think you can trace that back. I'm an Aaron Rodgers believer. I was on his side the whole way this offseason. But it's hard to look at that and say that was not a distraction, and maybe we couldn't be more prepared for this game.
Oh, absolutely. And the offense, to me, is harder to excuse than the defense. Because right now the defense is at their new defensive coordinator, Joe Barry, who they're having to scrap everything and start over with defense there. So there's a little bit of miscommunication there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll pick it up. I mean,
think the
they
defense-
have to.
But the defense wasn't terrible. They just couldn't keep up for the lack of time the offense was having on the
oh,
field.
for sure, yeah.
I don't want to overreact, but to have the Packers as high in the power rankings as they were, I saw them at 13. I forget where. I'm about to pull it up, but they were 13. They were ranked above the Cowboys, and I'm
They
not.
were.
I love I love the Packers. I don't want to overreact. I believe in them to be a contender this year, but the Cowboys put on a really great performance against the best team in the league, and I don't think it's that close.
Mm-hmm.
They are a loaded roster,
Mhm.
both sides of the ball. And then you have the Cowboys coming back. Dak hadn't played in a year. Their starting left guard, Zach Martin, the best guard in the league, potentially the best lineman in the league, was out. And they still put on a great game. On a wish-washy call, it could go either way with that push-off. It could go
That was
either
a
way.
push-off.
I
That was a
don't know about
push-off.
that. But for that to be – it was pretty much decided right there, right? I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
For that game to be so close, and then to have the Cowboys still ranked below the Packers in power rankings,
That felt kind of funny, yeah.
Yeah.
it's just kind of laughable. I don't understand how. It's just I can only say embarrassing. Aaron Jones was pitiful. Rodgers was pitiful.
That was his worst game. What, 32 was his
Something like that, yeah.
was his passing rate, but geez,
Because, if you were to ask me after this weekend, it would be the Green Bay Packers and the Falcons at the very bottom.
I won't go that far. That's
I don't know.
reaction.
They're the two teams that did the worst, in my opinion.
I think they did the
would go by
worst.
that. I agree with that because shoot, a field goal, was that it? Is that the only thing they scored?
A field goal before halftime.
A field goal was the only thing that happened to the Packers. What did they do?
Did you see them being this bad all year?
No.
Okay.
Oh, so
I
I think
think-
it's over. I think they put them with the Falcons is pretty.
No,
as
for
far
the
as
week.
performance-
For the
yeah.
week.
For the week.
No, I think
They're-
they're even
Overall, they're going to
worse than
come
the
back.
Falcons.
Hopefully, it won't take too long for them.
When you're returning an MVP from last year, the best receiver in the league, a great running back, a pretty good defense, all things considered. You have the best corner, pretty good pass rush, and then you put on a performance like that against a quarterback that was was cast away by the league.
It all starts with the quarterback position. It's like if your quarterback is not performing, you're done. It's game over, in my opinion.
And it's no secret that Aaron Rodgers is pretty bad when playing from behind.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That definitely probably got to him. I'm not gonna say that.
Well, it definitely felt like because when I saw they were down, was it 17-10 at one point? Rodgers just.
Well, no,
like,
we never got to 10.
Well, 17-0. Sorry. Rodgers just like his whole face was just like, whatever. We'll just move on to the next one already.
I'm not that upset about that.
I don't think he was prepared for this game, to be honest with you, because in that 6-month period, we didn't know if Aaron Rodgers was going to play football.
No, yeah.
He was. I don't think he was ready for this week, and I think that he needs to get his head into the right state of mind, back into football mode. And if he's not in the right football state of mind, then he needs to call it quits, because he is what will hold the Packers back if he doesn't perform well.
I honestly think
I can't agree with that.
I honestly think him kind of being wishy-washy this offseason kind of made the chemistry of the whole team just kind of.
Obviously, when you're
because half of them were thinking about leaving with him over it.
Yeah.
Your quarterback performing poorly is going to affect any team, but I mean, what is their other option? Go with Jordan Love?
Well, if Aaron Rodgers is holding the Packers back from winning a game that they need to win, then maybe put in Jordan Love.
Can that not be said about any quarterback? If they're not playing well, then put in the backup. But
the thing is that he took a 6-month break where he didn't even know if he was going to play football. It's like if I were to compare like Patrick Mahomes, if he wasn't in the state of mind to play football, then take a year off. Take it like Gronkowski. He wasn't in football ready mode, and then he came back with the Buccaneers and was in the right state of mind, and then he won a Super Bowl.
See, I would disagree that he's not in the right state of mind.
You don't think Aaron Rodgers is in the right state of
I
mind?
agree with Easton, actually.
But I feel like it's more of they got to figure themselves out again with who they are.
How? They were the
like
same
you said,
team from last year.
No, they're not. Like you said, they've missed 6 months of working together.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with him.
They're the same team.
And you can't use the same plays every single year, or you're going to get destroyed by every single defense. And so they literally lost 6 years of or 6 months of planning.
But like I said, if Aaron Rodgers not being there, I think the chemistry of the entire team.
So it's going to take them a couple games to get figured out how their ball's going to roll together. But as soon as that clicks, they're going to be that powerhouse again.
And it just doesn't make sense that the Packers aren't. I thought that if Aaron Rodgers taking a 6-month break would be good, but watching that, it's not. You need to be with your team in order to win games. That sounds pretty stupid.
I don't think any quarterback taking a 6-month break away from football is
ever a good thing.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's just a.
I don't disagree with you, but I feel like as soon as they figure out their stride again, it's going to be no question.
Well, now the question is, how long will that take, and how long can you afford for that to take?
It'll be too late when they finally.
The NFC looks really tight this year.
Yeah.
I mean, the NFC West is stacked. I mean, I think the NFC North really underperformed. I think we're 0-4. The NFC North is
starting off strong.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like the Packers are behind, but the NFC's tight. How long can you wait to get into stride?
And that's
when Aaron Rodgers was not in camp, other teams were getting in stride. When in the offseason, I was like, Aaron Rodgers is a vet. He doesn't really need camp. I don't know if that's the truth anymore.
But
but also,
that
like I
proves
said,
the point that he needs to be with the team.
But also, like I said, it wasn't just him. There were other players.
I think
O-line,
Adams wasn't there.
Right.
The
D. Adams was like, I'm not going until Aaron Rodgers comes back.
But it's insane that Aaron Rodgers, who has played with this team, this group of guys for what, 3 years?
But like I said, you can't do the same stuff every single time.
He's played with Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones for how long?
5 for Jones, I believe now, or 4. 5, and then
let's just say 5 years. So how does he not have that chemistry?
I don't think
after taking a 6-month break.
I mean,
I'm just asking a question. How does he not have that chemistry?
I don't think it's a lack of chemistry. It's a lack of just preparation against a really good defense.
Plus, we played in Florida. They played in Florida. They're bad in Florida.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is really bad in Florida.
Okay.
I was about to say they're up.
Oh yeah,
really.
the Saints are playing.
There's no excuse for that performance.
Even in New Orleans, it would have been pretty bad.
Yeah,
But at least it would have been in the Superdome in a controlled environment. It wouldn't have been
For the most
heat.
part, yeah.
but
I mean, their first game in the heat, coming from how far up north they are, is always
Pretty.
rough looking.
Yeah,
to look
I
that
agree.
bad is
Especially
pretty
the
embarrassing.
humidity. They're not used
Yeah,
to humidity.
just
like
put
that.
the humidity. And like I said, their defense only did as bad as they did because of how much time they were on the field.
This is probably the worst performance I've ever seen from the Packers.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty bad games from
But
When
them.
Aaron Rodgers was hurt, there was
That
some
might be-
pretty
that's pretty
bad
embarrassing.
games.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
I will say
But with Aaron
been-
Rodgers, I'll
with-
say that. With Aaron
I
Rodgers,
could
that was
agree
the
with
worst.
that,
That was the worst game with Aaron Rodgers.
we've
I've
been
ever
hating
seen.
on the Packers a lot.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
the other
so-
side of the other side
so-
of this is the Saints.
Oh, yeah, the
who-
Saints
right,
are great.
Yeah.
Sean Payton
Is that a-
Sean Payton did great as
Yeah.
far as play calling. Jameis Winston only threw 20 passes and had 5 touchdowns. A lot of that has to do with your scheme. And
Well, they took a great opportunity.
Yes,
or
that's what I
they
was
took
about to
great
say.
advantage over the opportunity.
Yeah.
they had.
But see, does that pose a question? Are the Saints team taken seriously this season?
Oh,
Or
absolutely.
do you think just Packers had a bad game and then the Saints just capitalized on it and the Saints are still going to be an average team this year?
Probably a little bit of both.
I think we just have to see what week 2.
I was about to say the
comes
first
out.
couple 2 to 3 weeks, it's hard to say much.
I think as good as Jameis Winston was, he's a very volatile quarterback. He is due for 3 or 4 good games and then one really bad one. And how does that do in the playoffs?
Exactly.
'Cause you can
You
do
get
so
one,
well,
one
and then
bad
if you-
game in the playoffs for sure.
You're done.
Yeah.
And he's
you're
back.
playing. And guess what? They're not going to get a bye because they're with the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are probably going to get that bye. If not, they're going to be number 1 in that division. And then the Saints, they're going to go through the wild card. They're going to have a long road, and they're going to need everyone, including Jameis Winston, to be at their best. And I don't know if I could bet on that. They might be a team that can make the playoffs and upset somebody, just because there's a lot of talent on that roster. But I'm not betting on them to make a deep playoff run.
Yeah.
After that 38-3
if the
victory.
Saints shut down Christian McCaffrey like they did Aaron Jones, I'll take them seriously. Because Christian McCaffrey was a point machine in fantasy this week, and he's probably the number 1 target for that team. When Sam Darnold had a lot of options. I know there's Robbie Anderson. I know there's more out there too. Yeah. But it looked like Sam Darnold felt comfortable throwing the ball to Christian McCaffrey in the flat.
Does that say more about Christian McCaffrey or more about Sam Darnold, who's just a check down machine? It seems like.
If you ask
Yeah.
me, McCaffrey, because he's a running back catching it.
Yeah,
But
but catching it in the flat.
If he shut down McCaffrey though,
But he wasn't just running.
He would've
around
been
in
an
the
option.
flat.
not to find other weapons. To
Yeah, well, what I could say to that is, oh look, Sam Darnold's not comfortable throwing down the field. Let's force that. Let's
it's
play
weak.
the flat. Let's play Christian McCaffrey, and then obviously it's not that simple.
Well,
but
yeah,
that
it's
you
just
can,
a
but you
done.
can you can game plan around Sam Darnold, and you can kind of shove into Christian McCaffrey and focus on stopping him because you don't have to worry about Sam Darnold.
But the one thing that I saw that was good from Sam Darnold was that I don't know how many yards it was, but it was a long touchdown pass to Robbie Anderson, and that thing was a dime. And now I know that's when I knew that Sam Darnold has connection with Robbie Anderson and Chris McCaffrey the most.
I feel like it.
But more
we should
Christian
have
McCaffrey.
known. I feel like the Robbie Anderson connection is something that should have been known with his time with the Jets.
But I guess it was I forgot. Robbie Anderson only did have 1 catch, and it was that deep ball. But it looks like that.
He trusts him.
Yeah, he trusts him.
And yeah, I think we'll see more targets to Robbie Anderson.
Yeah.
And obviously Christian McCaffrey's always going to get his.
Yeah.
He's kind of unstoppable in that sense, but I'm not sure if a team's ability to stop a running back has. I don't know how much I value that as far as evaluating them as contenders.
Mm-hmm.
So, keeping up with quarterbacks here, what y'all think about Matt Stafford's first start here with the Rams?
I thought it was really good. It felt nice to see him not having to worry about bailing his defense out for the millionth
He
time.
seemed comfortable.
He did.
He did seem very
That
comfortable.
first, okay, the first touchdown pass that I saw Matt Stafford throw was when he rolled out of the pocket and threw it on the run. I think it
Van
was
Jefferson.
Was it Jefferson?
Van Jefferson, yeah.
Van Jefferson. I don't know what the Bears secondary was doing. Like they think they were in college. Like they didn't even touch him, and they ran off the field thinking that he was down. And that's just
He got
bad.
right back up and threw. He walked
Yeah.
into the end zone pretty much.
Yeah, he just walked, and the Bears secondary just thought he was down already, and it's just It was a good throw by Matt Stafford, but we're not talking about
Yeah,
the
You
secondary,
talking
but-
down to the Bears, to us three, you're just preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
we'll agree every day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
I was
Bears
saying,
suck.
But Matt Stafford
They
did do
played
good.
Bears defense.
No,
Yeah.
Matt Stafford was great, but I don't know. I don't know if my take should change. Obviously, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of arm strength. You're playing under Sean McVay with those great weapons. But you're still pretty bad against winning teams all time. I wouldn't say the Bears are a winning team. They made the playoffs last year, but it was definitely they squeezed in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Squeaked in.
I'm not sure we're going to see them as a winning team. Obviously, you played Andy Dalton. Let's be real.
Yeah.
You played Andy Dalton.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
If your defense has to bail you out against Andy Dalton, then you're pretty much done.
Yeah, but Matt Stafford,
He looked great.
he looked good. He went 20 for 26. That's more than what I expected. I was expecting maybe 64% passing. I don't know about
I don't know. With Sean McVay, because that scheme is going to be so good under him, I expect high completion percentage. I mean, he made. Let's not forget, he made Jared Goff a Pro Bowler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
And go to the Super Bowl.
went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff.
But it didn't work out. But, I mean, still, he...
Still,
Still got there.
Sean McVay patched up his holes.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until they played the Bears that year where it all got exposed because the Rams were undefeated for quite a bit in 2017, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
And then they met the Bears, and the Bears
it was-
cracked down on them. And then from that moment on, Jared Goff was exposed. Everyone knew how to shut him down. And
I think it was 2018.
2018,
Yeah, because that
I
was
think
the
you might
year
be
that
right.
Patrick
Yeah, I
Mahomes...
think it was.
That
Oh, yeah.
game
You're
was...
right.
You went with the over in that game.
the Rams Chiefs game.
Rams Chiefs game. if you
Yeah,
went with the
you're
over.
right.
Oh, it was like a high scoring game.
Yeah.
That
That was a fun game.
But
Speaking of the Chiefs, what about this Chiefs and Browns game? I thought the Browns out of there for the longest time.
Okay,
Up until the very end.
I got a question. Do you think the Chiefs are still as good as they are, but the Browns are steadily catching up to the Chiefs?
I
Or
think...
do you think
okay.
the Chiefs
Yeah.
have just lost some
Okay.
juice?
I've been waiting for this. The Browns, everybody expected them to be the best team in the AFC. Am I not wrong?
who expected
Boy.
that?
Everybody.
Yeah, I
Are you
did.
kidding me? Everybody's expecting the Browns
What
to
have
be
you been
the best.
watching?
Everybody's
I
expecting
was expecting the Browns to be trash again.
I
No.
wasn't supposed to be trash.
Okay.
I figured they would have been like a 12
Just average.
team. But
I thought
Yeah.
I thought they would be like a top 3 seed, but I think the Chiefs. Were
Okay,
pretty
let me
The
high.
Chiefs should have
Let
had
me
no
rephrase.
trouble with them from what they were last
Especially-
year.
I wouldn't
Ag.
say that,
Yeah.
but I
Well-
will say that I think the Chiefs would pretty obviously be the best team. But I get what
Let
you're
me
saying.
let me rephrase. The Browns were the team to beat in the AFC.
I still think it's the Chiefs. I
Yeah,
think Patrick
it's like-
Mahomes is the
The
guy.
Browns are the team to beat in the AFC. They're
This year?
they're held to higher standards than last year. True or false?
For them compared to the standards that
for
they've
where the
had.
Browns have come from, yeah, but I think the
But
Chiefs
that's not-
have a
that
higher
doesn't say
standard.
anything.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs
Yeah,
have a higher
you yourself said that they would underperform if they didn't win the Super Bowl. You said that about the
that's
Chiefs.
what-
Oh,
that's
okay.
exactly what she said.
So they have to be the team to beat in the
Yeah.
AFC.
Mm-hmm.
But the Browns, I mean, we were celebrating because they made the playoffs last year.
I mean, the Chiefs had everything to lose and the Browns had everything to win.
Exactly.
And if you ask me,
I
the
disagree.
Chiefs still lost a little bit.
no,
I
I
don't
disagree
think
with
the
that.
Chiefs
I
lost.
disagree with that point completely.
because I think
The
the Chiefs
Chiefs-
came back and won that game.
I mean, they
No,
did.
the Chiefs. I never. Okay, I've been watching for this Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid era for 3 years. 3 years, right? He's been in the league. This is his fourth
I think so,
year.
yeah.
This fourth.
For-
No, this is his
this is
fifth
fourth.
year, but this is his
2018, 2019,
fourth year.
2020.
this is fifth year. This is his fifth year, but this is his
Okay,
fourth year
fourth.
starting.
Whatever, 4 or 5. I always know that they are never out of a game. Even in the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers, I was waiting for something big to happen.
I get that.
But
They
they're
were a
never out of
second
a
half
game.
team. I will agree with that.
The Chiefs' defense got stops when it mattered. What matters more, a stop in the first quarter or a stop in the fourth quarter? What
Yeah,
matters
it's
more?
awful
Depends,
stuff,
depends on
but-
what the score is.
No, it's the
If
fourth
we're
quarter.
talking
I'm
about
not
the
gonna
Chiefs,
be
and,
cryptic about it.
I'm talking about the Chiefs and Browns game. What mattered more, a stop in the
Then
first
that
quarter
game,
or the fourth
stop
quarter?
in the fourth quarter.
Okay, because Chris Jones he finally woke up in the fourth quarter. That's when he always does. He got those 2 sacks. He put Baker Mayfield under pressure. I don't think Baker Mayfield choked in that last throw. I think because Chris Jones and the defense was putting pressure on him, that led to the interception. I don't think he was meant to. He meant to throw it away, but I just think he was under pressure, and I don't think he choked that game.
I don't think anyone besides Browns fans are really expecting Baker to lead them to the promised land. It's got to be the running backs, the run game, and the defense.
The two running backs, I definitely think.
That O-line.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, I think I saw kind of exactly what I expected from that game. A close game. The Browns went up ahead, but I think because the Chiefs, having Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Patrick Mahomes, they are pretty easily the best team to have when you're playing from behind, because just like that, you can score.
It was 22-10, and just I was saying, like, okay, the Chiefs need to score quick, and it took 13 seconds for them to score and make it 22-17. Because he had that one throw where he just flung it, and the Browns secondary player was like, "Where the heck did he go?" And it ran back, and it was an underthrow, and Tyreek Hill just squeezed right by him, caught it, and went for a touchdown. That was, you probably heard me, but that was insane. That throw was really good. But yeah, the Chiefs are never out of a game. I think the Browns are the team to beat in the AFC.
How could you say that when your expectations for the Chiefs are so high?
Because I think we all know what the Chiefs can do, and we now know what the Browns can put to the table in the AFC.
I will agree with you now, but 2 days ago I would have disagreed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you mean by the team to beat? Like that says the most about your team when you beat them? Or is that the team that you desire to beat the most? Is that what you're saying?
What do you mean? So,
like, when you say that the Browns are the team to beat, are you saying that when you beat the Browns, that means you're a team?
Yes. Okay.
Why is that any more than the Chiefs?
I feel like if you
because we already know what the Chiefs can do.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
But if you beat the Chiefs, then you're definitely
okay. The Browns and the Chiefs. If you beat those two teams.
Okay, I agree with you.
So they are the teams to beat.
They're the teams to beat. I'll say that.
But in that division, the Chiefs are the team to beat.
I would say in the AFC, the Chiefs are still the team to beat. I don't think it's the Browns, because I think we saw exactly how you can beat the Browns. Have a great passing game, make them play from behind. Listen, if you get the Browns behind, you make them use Baker. Baker Mayfield's got to be the guy, and that's not a situation where he's most comfortable. He's more comfortable relying on the run game and getting those play action passes,
short passes,
and taking those shots in play action. So when you get him to play from behind, he's worse. And that's what you have to do. Obviously, all of this is easier said than done. But it's so much easier to do these things than to do anything against the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. A defense that looks like it's going to be a little bit better this year, I think. And then an O-line that's, I don't know.
Brand spanking new from last year.
Revived, yeah. It's a lot of talent on that offensive line now.
So can I not say that the Chiefs, we already know what the Chiefs can do. If you beat them, you're going to be looked at differently just because you beat the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
If you beat the Browns, if you
beat the Browns, you're a contender to beat the Chiefs.
Exactly. Okay, that's what I mean.
But the Chiefs are still the team to beat.
I still don't.
But you can say that.
You know, the Browns had a negative point differential during the regular season last year, meaning that they overall last year, points scored, points against. They had more points against than points scored. So, I mean, they were blowing out teams in wins, I guess, and losing. Or no, I guess the opposite.
No, they
winning close games and then getting blown
out.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
That's how the Packers are going to be this year if they come back, from what it feels like.
But everybody's holding the Browns to a high standard.
I feel like the Chiefs are being held to a higher standard.
High standards to make a high playoff position.
Yeah, obviously everyone's saying that they're going to be the top team in that division. I feel like that's fair. But I think that's different from being the team to beat.
But see, everyone's got to pass the Chiefs first, because as of last year, they were that team.
Who would you rather play in the playoffs?
I'd rather play the Browns.
I'd much rather play the Browns.
I'd rather play the Browns. Okay. Browns, like, every day of the week. I would rather play the Browns twice.
And I want to even say it's a question, rather play the Chiefs or Browns, would you rather play against Mahomes or Mayfield?
Yeah. And
I mean, your defense is going to take
Mayfield. You can dumb it down to that,
day.
and it's pretty easy.
But it was just such a nail-biter throughout that game.
Fun game.
From the first quarter, when they went up even when they went for it on fourth down in the fourth quarter, and they kept on getting that fourth down and kept on marching down the field, I was like, dang, the Chiefs are gonna have a tough. This is gonna be a tough game because if they keep on going for it, they're gonna waste time off the clock, and that allows Baker Mayfield to stay on the.
Defense is gonna get tired.
Yeah, defense is gonna get tired. Which it's insane that the Chiefs defense stays awake and like alive in the fourth quarter.
You're telling me I watched a Packers game where they were out there the entire game.
Yeah, it's just I thought it was a good game. I thought it was coached well, from just still making it a close game without making it get out of hand, and I think Patrick Mahomes did what he does, stays in the game. I think they punted twice, and then they got field goals twice. So he definitely put them in the position to win. It's just, it was that fumble from Nick Chubb and Thornhill that was punched out by Thornhill that really gave the Chiefs the momentum. Because if you give them just the slightest bit of momentum, you're done. Is that agreeable? Because in the Super Bowl against the 49ers, it was that one pass to Tyreek Hill that just gave him all the momentum to win the game. So yeah, it was good. I was impressed by the Browns' never quitting attitude. I feel like that's changed over the years. The Browns have, went from 0-16 to now being a playoff contender. So
Oh, absolutely. And the Browns had the recipe to beat the Chiefs. They just
it was just the little mistakes
they
that
couldn't bring it out.
that tells you that if
the
you
turnovers at the wrong time and then the Chiefs capitalizing when they needed to is how they lost the game.
that tells you that if you don't play 100% like the Buccaneers did, you're gonna lose.
Well,
against the Chiefs.
you have to play perfect football against the Chiefs.
Well, I don't even think the Chiefs played perfect.
No, but that's the thing. They don't have to. They're so talented. They don't have to, but you do.
Mm-hmm.
Your team has to play perfect because you just can't take those chances against guys like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it was just like what I said. Like I think the turnovers the Browns had and the Chiefs capitalizing when they need to. That's why the Chiefs won the game.
Yeah.
So, outside of these hot games, what kind of rookies out there surprised you or took you off guard?
Definitely Jamar Chase. We obviously knew that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase were gonna be, like yin and yang.
Joe Burrow looked great.
He looked good, and it was.
I won't say great.
I don't know. That was
great.
That was
he
a
looked
good-looking
good.
game.
He looked better. I know he only played.
He looked better than what people were going to give him credit for being for an
Mm-hmm.
NFL quarterback.
And Jamar Chase, he just got open, and we've seen it. We saw in the national championship game. If you throw it to Jamar Chase, and you give him a good solid ball to where it's not underthrown, it's not too far back, but if it's right there and it's in his reach, he's gonna go 100% and catch that ball 100%. I said 100%.
Whoa.
100%.
I mean, yeah, when I throw my first run wide receiver the ball and he's open, I want him to catch it.
Yeah.
And that's something that going through camp in preseason we weren't so sure of because he did have that drop problem. He said he was adjusting to the size of the NFL ball compared to college. Seems like he's got that figured out. Something I'm kind of scared of, which didn't seem to be that big of a deal this week, so maybe I'm wrong. But I was definitely wary of Joe Burrow's, his inability to throw it or unwillingness to throw it to wide receivers in a 50-50 situation, and that's kind of where Jamar Chase wins. Obviously,
100%.
Jamar Chase got open this week and scored a 50-yard touchdown.
Hey, but still, this is his first game. He's playing conservative, and he still did well doing so.
He did very well.
And the Vikings aren't they're not bad.
They're a good defense.
They're a decent team.
I think they're a good defense.
And then T. Higgins, of course, he was there. I mean, he did what he does.
And then Tyler Boyd, obviously. So it's not like
Boyd. He only got 3 catches.
Yeah, but
they were catches that need to be caught.
And there was a good run game.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed like everything was kind of working for the Bengals this week.
Yeah.
I was definitely surprised to see Jamar Chase play as well as he did, just because I thought that Joe Burrow wouldn't want to throw him those balls, and I didn't think that Jamar Chase would get the separation that he did. Will that continue to happen as the season progresses? Maybe. I wasn't thinking it would at the beginning of the year, but I'm wrong so far. So if they continue to prove me wrong, I'll have to reevaluate. Also, I'm not surprised about Mac Jones. I'm still locking him in as my rookie of the year.
So,
He looked pretty good.
not someone who I think.
thought.
Not someone who I think is gonna have a. I mean, he might have a great year, but someone who actually probably shocked me the most was Devontae Smith, because I thought his size for being in the NFL was gonna kill him.
People doubted his size in college too, and he had proven them wrong.
6 receptions for 74 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Right, granted, his long was only 19 yards, but I mean,
Well,
for a first game,
that just proves that you were getting a lot of catches.
Mm-hmm.
Your work you didn't just have one big splash play, so it was definitely more of a consistent thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you were reliable.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
were
You
reliable.
showed yourself that you're reliable.
But my question with Devontae Smith and his size is not about how well he will play in games where he's healthy, but it'll be if he can stay healthy at that frame.
yeah.
A lot of people were talking about, he's going to get pressed off the line. These guys have footwork. That's not that big of a deal. They could. He got pressed off the line at Alabama.
His route running reminds me a lot of.
He's got great footwork. No, everyone knew that. I think that whole conversation about, he's not going to be able to get off the line, that's stupid. Obviously, he won the Heisman in the
For a reason, yeah.
Yeah, he's not a bum, but 6 foot, 170 pounds. That you're just asking to get hurt, in my opinion. And I hope he doesn't, but. That's just a really tiny frame. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
he's got to
out of all the rookies, just looking at their size and everything, he was the one that shocked me the most.
Yeah, him and Kyle Pitts are kind of the exact opposite in that sense.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts.
I figure Kyle Pitts, he's bigger frame and everything, and he only had 4 receptions.
Well, I'm not even upset about that, just due to the fact that the Falcons' offense was abysmal, and tight ends do take a little bit. They take some time to adjust. I mean, Darren Waller was not even relevant until 2-3 years ago, and he's 28 now.
Yeah.
George
29.
Kittle,
29.
29. George Kittle's 27. He's kind of broke out these past 3 years, so it does take a little bit for these tight ends to really get their footing. It's one game.
Yeah.
Outside of these rookies out there, we had some pretty key injuries this first week. One of which I think has a great opportunity. Ryan Fitzpatrick had a pretty detrimental hip injury in his first game, and I think some of us might think that might be opportunity for Cam Newton to take the position.
Well, I'm very happy to have this conversation. I am a Cam Newton believer. Listen, I don't think it'll happen because it seems like the football team is ready to roll with. I'm gonna be real, that was a complete accident, but it seems like they're gonna roll with Heineke, whatever his name is, which upsets me. But I would think that Cam Newton, you reunite him with Ron Rivera. Give him the best receiver that he would have had in Terry McLaurin, and probably the second best receiver he's ever had in Curtis Samuel, and see what he can do. It seems like Cam's he's been a little wild recently in his comments.
You don't believe in him?
I still believe in him. I still believe in the talent. I think that they get Cam Newton, a guy with playoff experience, knows how to win. Then I think they for sure make the playoffs.
I'm a believer in this. If Cam Newton goes to Washington, I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's a good fit. I think he'd do very well on this team. I don't trust Heineke as much. He keeps him in ball games, but he really doesn't get the job done. I think Cam Newton would get the job done.
By the way, while we're talking about McLaurin, that catch.
Oh yeah, that was
my God!
insane.
Did you see the catch?
That was Willie Mays style catch that I was.
Just dropped in the. There was literally a defender jumping and reaching for it, and just
not
fell
the
right in
best.
his
Yeah, not
hands.
the best throw by. I think McLaurin wanted it.
Anywhere but there.
Huh?
Anywhere but there.
Anywhere but behind him and sideways
in defender's arms.
sideways.
Yeah. It's a really cool shot too with that defender flying out of frame as he catches it.
Yeah.
But
I would rather take Cam Newton rather than Heineke.
In my opinion, if Cam Newton were to get the job though at Washington, I don't expect him to start.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't start week 1.
Not for a few weeks. Because it's going to take him a while to get situated with that team.
You need to do it. There's an adjustment period, and as much as I
NFC
believe in him, the question would be, it's like, how do you think he's going to react to sitting on the bench for the first couple of weeks? Because Cam Newton's a big personality.
Well, and two, he's been working with the team, learning their playbook and everything.
Oh yeah,
And then he's got
the
to,
Patriots, so he.
and then he's got to turn back around
And
learn someone
we
else's
saw
playbook
how well
completely
he did. How well he did with while not getting a preseason with the Patriots last year. It was really bad because he didn't get preparation, and now he's going to be in that exact same circumstance, mind you, with better weapons. But it's still comparable, and I understand there's some question marks there. I believe in Cam Newton. I'm more of a Cam Newton believer as far as when people say, "Oh, he gave up in the Super Bowl." I will argue to my deathbed that he did not.
Yeah, I don't think he did.
But
No one gives up in the
Great
Super Bowl.
Denver Broncos defense.
yeah,
Okay,
but
a lot
people
more
always
than
said that
saying.
he didn't dive on that fumble, and he's scared of putting his body on the line, which is
That's a
just,
quarterback, though. There's not
No,
many quarterbacks out there that are going to do that.
But if anyone puts their body on the line, it's Cam Newton. I don't know. Can you think of a quarterback that's taken more hits than him? Because he is not afraid. He did a back flip into the end zone, or a front flip into the end zone for a touchdown. He takes hits. He's not scared of that. I don't understand that narrative.
Mahomes isn't afraid to take hits.
Yeah,
But
but
we're
Cam
not
Newton's a
talking
different
about-
level.
I know,
But
but
we're not
Cam-
talking about Mahomes.
I know. Mahomes can take a hit. Yeah, I'm just adding on that.
I think
Mahomes
Cam
can-
Newton's on a different level. But I just don't. I was
Well,
just saying I don't get that narrative.
Yeah, Cam Newton's he's a big dude. He can take hits.
No, like, absolutely.
You just got to find the right team with the right receivers.
And
match
I think this
with
is
him.
the right team for him because he'll have
I
a
agree.
good weapon.
With
With
Ron
Logan
Rivera,
Thomas and McLaurin, I think it's good. And the defense will back
Hey,
him up.
let's not leave out Curtis Samuel.
Or Curtis Samuel. Okay, there you go. And him too.
And
J.D.
Antonio
McKissick,
Gibson, I think, could be pretty good. J.D. McKissick, like
I
that's,
think he's
those are good
questionable.
weapons.
He's questionable.
Which one?
Gibson is questionable.
Well, I think J.D. McKissick's a pretty solid
Mhm.
receiving back.
Mm-hmm.
So, going back on the injuries, I know you thought the Denver Broncos would perform better than what most people probably think they would do this year, but Jerry Judy's out with the high ankle sprain.
Oh yeah.
And most people say, players coming back with the high ankle sprain aren't themselves coming back after the injury.
I actually had a high ankle sprain when I played football, and it did take a while to recover, so I know that. But I'm not so afraid of the Broncos.
There's more weapons than Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, I
Jerry
mean-
Jeudy is a big target.
He's a great player. I think I think he's going to break out this year, and maybe that high ankle sprain hurts him more individually. But they still have Cortland Sutton.
Mm-hmm.
They still have Tim Patrick, Noah Fant, Melvin Gordon, and I forget their rookie running back's name, but
Williams.
I'm not even going to try to guess. And then I'm more focused on their defense when I'm talking about them being a playoff contender.
Yeah.
I think it has more to do with their defense. So, I mean, Jerry Judy's injury sucks, but I'm not sure it's as big of a deal as one may think.
Let's see. So going into week 2 with our first game on Thursday, we have the Giants and Washington. I see the Giants winning this one now after the quarterback situation with Washington.
Give me Washington.
I would go with
Okay.
Washington just because Tyler, I think.
Taylor
Taylor.
That was Tyler Heineke.
Heineke.
Whatever, Heineke. I think, even though Fitzpatrick's out, I still think he could take that team to the
My
win
thing
that
is,
one.
I'm just looking at the Broncos and Washington are a very, very similar team to me. Or very similar teams. Great defense, quarterback. I don't know what's going on there, and then pretty good weapons.
Yep.
And I mean, the Giants just lost to the Broncos, and I think it's going to happen again. I think Washington will win that game.
I think Washington will win, but it's going to be a close one. I think it's
Okay.
gonna be a
Well,
close
I'll
one.
still be that outlier. I'll take the Giants. Now we got the Raiders and Steelers. Probably the Raiders. That's who I'm thinking Raiders.
Really?
Yeah,
Not-
Okay.
The Steelers impressed me.
Yeah,
I
got
didn't
the
expect them
Steelers.
to. I mean,
got
if
the
it wasn't
Steelers
for
that game.
if it wasn't for a blocked punt, the Bills would still be in that game. But their defense did impress me. I'll give them that. So and they're going to be at the Steelers. So at whatever Heinz Field, I think I'll take the Steelers.
Damn, you just whatevered Heinz Field. That's kind of disrespectful.
Let's catch up.
I'm also going
You're gonna
off-
get that terrible towel. I'll get the Steelers.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to be the outlier tonight then. 49ers and Eagles.
Man, this is tough.
Eagles.
Mm,
I
go-
got the Eagles that game.
I like the
49ers.
49ers, yeah.
I don't know. Just the
Debo
way
Samuel
give
was
me the
gonna
Niners
give them
again.
a
if,
tough
if,
time.
if Jalen
Okay.
Hurts puts on the performance he had week 1 game, I got the Eagles.
Okay.
Texans and Browns. That one's hard. It's
Browns.
Hey, the
Browns.
Texans
Browns.
surprised us once. No.
But they were playing
that's
a
why I'm
Jags team.
skeptical.
They're playing the Jags teams with a new head coach and new quarterback.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm going to go to.
Let's not forget that Jacksonville was the worst team in the league last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to take the Browns, but I will not be surprised if the Texans.
No, I'm taking the Browns all the way. They're winning this game.
Okay.
Without a doubt. And then
Broncos and Jags.
Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos.
For sure.
It's like Broncos.
But Trevor Lawrence, I think, will have a good game. I think he's not going to be shut out. I think he'll still.
No, I think he'll do terrible against that with his offensive line against that secondary and that pressure. I think he'll crack a little bit, which is fine. I still think he'll be good in this league.
What about Saints and Panthers?
You're the Saints.
I'm doing Saints.
Saints.
Rams and Colts.
Rams.
Yeah.
Bills and Dolphins. I'm taking Dolphins again.
I'm taking Dolphins.
Really?
I'm taking Dolphins again.
Yeah.
Especially after this past weekend.
I think the Steelers found the formula to beat the Bills, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins.
I'm betting on the Bills to
I
bounce
got the
back.
Bills that game. I think.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen's gonna have a decent game against them.
Okay, to say decent, that's not like that's a hot take. I think Josh Allen will be decent. I think it'll at least be a good. I think he'll play.
Right, Patriots and Jets. Patriots.
Sorry, I was still recovering from that blistering take. Oh, I got the Patriots.
I got Patriots that game.
Man. Patriots.
Okay.
That's gonna be a fun game to watch though with two rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, we'll see if Mac Jones can get his first W.
So, if you were asking me a week ago, I would have said Bears, but between Bengals and Bears, I think I'm taking Bengals.
I think for sure Bengals.
Bengals. Yeah.
Give me the Bears.
Okay.
Bears. Okay. I can see it.
This one's a no-brainer. Falcons and Bucks. Do we even need to talk about that one? We'll go.
Yeah.
Okay. How about the Vikings and the Cardinals?
Cardinals.
Yeah.
Don't
even.
No.
Give me the Vikings. No. That offensive line's pretty bad. Give me the Cardinals. What is the point? Or we're filming a podcast. You think they know?
Shut
Hey,
up.
let us know you're about to do that. Well, now we got the Titans and the Seahawks. That's going to be a Seahawks game.
I need Derrick Henry to do good.
I really don't like the Seahawks
I don't
defense.
either. I'll go with the Titans.
I'll go with the Titans. I think
they would go.
yeah, I'm not overreacting to last week.
Regardless of the defense, I think the Seahawks will just run the score up so much that the Titans won't be able to catch up.
You know,
with the Titans defense and the way Kyler Murray just picked them apart in that last game, I think
Russell Wilson's going to have no problem.
Yeah, no, I get Russell Wilson in this first half of the regular season. It's hard to bet against. But it's also, I don't know. Regular season Derrick Henry's about on that same level, so I'll go the Titans.
Okay, how about the Cowboys and the Chargers?
Cowboys.
I'm going Cowboys.
The way the Cowboys play against the Bucks, I think Cowboys are gonna be decent.
Get them up in the power rankings. Don't disrespect them.
Chiefs and Ravens.
Don't even say the Ravens. That's gonna offend me so much if you guys say the Ravens. It's the Chiefs.
I would say if the Ravens had their running backs,
we always beat the Ravens.
If the Ravens had the running backs,
don't sleep on Latavius Murray. He's gonna be great. He's on my fantasy. He's on my bench, but he's gonna be my flex soon.
That's insane. He's a fourth string. You know that?
We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, he was a fourth string before.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. I'll pick the Chiefs, but it took me a little long to think about it.
It seems like every year the Chiefs pick apart the Ravens.
Pick apart is a little bit of an exaggeration.
What?
They've had some good games though.
The first time they played. The second time they played.
The first time in franchise history?
No, the first time that the Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson.
For Easton, football didn't exist before Patrick Mahomes was an MVP.
But that's when it was competitive. So that's why.
Okay, fair enough.
So when Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson went against each other first time, that was a competitive game.
So that's when football started?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then the next, whenever the year, but then the next 2 years they played each other, it was not the best.
This is coming from three guys who are like bleeding Packers yellow.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Well, I'll let you know who wins that game at about like 7:35. Mm-hmm. Okay, Lions and Packers. I think the Packers are going to get this one.
Are they playing it at
It's at Lambeau. The Packers are going to have this one.
Can beat the 49ers.
I'm going to give the Packers a spanking. They're on punishment. I'm taking the Lions.
I like the Lions.
With
because their coach yells and screams all the time in press conferences, but I like the
I
Lions.
would.
I'll take them.
I
I'll take a risk.
I would only go with the Lions only because I don't think the Packers
Fake.
really know Jared Goff.
Fan over there.
Oh, you think it matters? It's Jared Goff.
But still, the way they underestimated Jameis Winston, and look what he did to them.
I'm listen. I think the Packers are better than the Lions. I don't think that's a question, but I just feel I'm very mad at the Packers. I don't want to bet on
They're
them.
fun. Timeout.
Yeah.
Go to the corner. Think about
They're
it.
getting scolded right now.
Yeah. All right.
So moving on to college.
Yeah.
What teams do you think underperformed and what teams do you think did great?
Ohio State underperformed.
I was right. I was right about that. The Oregon's defense gave C.J. Stroud a little bit of a problem. I think C.J. did a little bit better than last week, but his defense, Ohio State's defense, was so bad. It was picked apart by C.J. Verdell, who had 20 carries for 161 yards and then 2 touchdowns. And then the third one that he got was a receiving touchdown. Or not receiving. It was a receiving touchdown. So I think I want to take pride in taking Oregon to win. They're now in the top 4 now. I think that they'll stick in the top 4 for the rest of the season.
Do you think Ohio State? How do you feel about their chances to make the
Ohio
playoffs?
State? No, it's done. Their season is done. They're getting a bowl game, and then they'll call it quits. I don't see any hope into Ohio State just because how their defense performed against Oregon, against a top 4 team. Because Oregon is now set in stone a top 4 team, and how the Buckeyes performed against it, I don't think they deserve
These are
to be.
strong words for
okay.
early on in the season.
Set in stone.
Yeah,
I think
Top 4 and
Oregon-
2.
either you're going to
Oregon
look a
has-
genius again, or you're going to be eating your words here.
Yeah, I have very high hopes on Oregon. They came out of nowhere, too.
I could agree with Easton, Ohio State not being in the college football playoffs anymore.
I just disagree
because
with Oregon being set in stone in top 4.
I don't think Oregon will be set in stone because if they lose a game, they're definitely out. And with Ohio State losing that game, their only other chance to prove themselves against Penn State, but Penn State's only
Who does Oregon play the rest of the year? Because
Penn State's a top 10 team. But if Penn State's worked their way up and then Ohio State were to beat them, I could see them potentially probably getting back in there. But I don't think Ohio State will be the top 4 team again this season.
I have high hopes. I like Oregon this year.
Oregon can't really afford to lose a game though, like at all.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
no
Yeah.
top 4 team can. Because then they're.
Well, I mean, Alabama can afford to lose one, but
Or
If
Georgia.
Alabama
Listen.
and Georgia play together, if we
Yeah.
lose to that team, that's not going to change.
I mean, but
They're still going to be 1 and 2.
sorry,
it might
but if
just switch
Oregon
spots.
Yeah.
loses to Washington State, or UCLA or any of those teams, it's hard because they just don't play anybody. They don't have another chance to prove
UCLA,
themselves.
they do play UCLA, and if they do beat UCLA, that will
If
will
Oregon-
give me 100%.
If
that
Oregon
Oregon's-
wins
If
out
you
the
ask
rest
me,
of the
their
season,
game against Fresno State was closer than it should have been.
Well, I mean, Fresno State, the thing about Fresno State is that they always keep games competitive. They don't win much, but they keep the game competitive.
Okay, well, I think this game meant a lot more to Oregon than it did to Ohio State,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
for sure.
most definitely.
So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, if they beat UCLA, give me Oregon in the top 4.
I think one team that's really should be watching themselves is Notre Dame because they played
yeah.
2 teams that aren't even ranked
Yeah, and they
and almost lost
barely
both of them.
squeaked by.
And I
They-
think that's a team that people need to watch out for. Is they could probably take a great opportunity to beat them this year and get
Do you-
them out.
Don't they play Cincy? How do you think that might go?
That's
going
going to be tough.
No, I mean later on in the season, don't they play Cincinnati?
I believe.
Yeah, they play Cincinnati.
And that could be-
5.
That'd be Cincy's only chance to kind of make a statement to say, hey, maybe we belong in the playoffs.
Yeah. I think Oklahoma deserves to be in the top 4 this year, and I think Oregon deserves to be in the top 4. I think we're done. I'm done with seeing Clemson. I'm done with them. I like seeing Alabama because it's Alabama. They're always going to be there. So
It's always going to be good football.
Yeah, it's always going to be.
I'm a big more of a Georgia fan than Alabama fan.
I won't disagree with you only because of what they did for us Arkansas State
but
people
I
when we
think,
came up there a couple
I
years
think
ago.
it'd be cool to see if Georgia replace Alabama here in the next couple of years.
And I can see it
think-
happening.
Yeah.
Well, what did y'all think about Arkansas finally getting ranked for the first time in eons?
Big Arkansas fan over here myself. I was really shocked, to be honest.
Hey, I called it after they won that game. Trevor said there's no way. I'm like, I'll still take their spot.
I didn't think number 15 team, Texas, coming into Arkansas. I mean, it was kind of funny because Texas is coming into the SEC here.
Yeah.
And it was a great welcome.
Yeah.
Awesome welcome.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. But, I mean, where Arkansas really capitalized was the run game. They had over 300 yards rushing against the Texas defense.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ask me, I expected that game to be much closer.
When it was 0-16 at halftime, I was like, Arkansas's going to find a way to lose this game because that's just our nature.
That's how Arkansas
That's
does
how
it.
I'm like, if Texas scores 2 touchdowns, it's 16-14, and the next possession they score again.
I mean, they almost managed that in week 1.
But I mean,
for future teams that are playing Arkansas, if they shut down the run because they really relied heavily on
that's what I was getting to.
They might have some problems because their quarterback only threw it 19 times.
Yeah,
so
that's Ryan Tannehill
14 for 19, 138 yards and 1 interception. No touchdown passes.
Do they play against Alabama and Georgia this year?
Yes.
Does Arkansas? Yeah, they play Georgia.
That's going to be some good.
Oh yeah.
Run protection games for them.
But this is what sucks for Arkansas. Their next game is against Georgia Southern, and then they play 4 ranked teams.
Yeah, I don't see Arkansas. Oh my gosh.
It goes 7 Texas A&M, 2 Georgia, 17 Ole Miss, which I think Ole Miss will be a decent game.
I could see them beating Ole Miss.
Oh my gosh.
Seeing how Ole Miss has been the last few
Arkansas
seasons.
usually has a good game against Ole Miss, and then we play at Arkansas against Auburn on that last end of the being ranked, and I think that would be a decent game too.
If you ask me, Arkansas is going to stay ranked for the rest of the season, but I don't see them getting any higher than they are now.
I don't see them getting higher than 20. No.
Yeah.
They drop to like 24 or something like that.
Yeah, they might vary it back and forth from where they are now, but this is about as far as they're going to get this year.
It just matters how
they have a lot of opportunities.
They have opportunities to get dropped, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's the only thing.
If they lose,
but they're going to bounce back and forth.
If they lose to Texas A&M and Georgia, I think it's going to be pretty tough to beat.
But then again, this is Arkansas. They can find a way to make this a losing season again.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't say that because A&M's is ranked 7th and Georgia's ranked 2, and
those are potentially 2 losses right there.
Yeah, that's 2 losses against really good teams. Now, Grant, I don't think A&M's a team that they show on paper.
Yeah,
I don't think they're as good as they.
It just matters what teams below them do, and if they do.
And to be honest, Arkansas does give A&M a good game at AT&T Stadium.
I'm glad.
They always have a good game.
I'm so glad college football's back. I'm so happy.
Georgia, I think Georgia's just gonna kill us. Yeah. But I do think if they beat Auburn and Mississippi, they're definitely gonna be ranked. Still be ranked.
Anything else about college y'all want to talk about?
I think that was pretty much the
big stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait for week 3.
Thanks for tuning in once again here on the network. This has been a great talk with week 2 of college and week 1 of NFL. We will be here again next Friday. Thanks for coming.